Shri Anandamayi Mat Ki Jai. In Ma Sharanam, we are celebrating the 5th Ma Kumbh, where we are having the 5 big functions. First, in Ma's temple, we are having 24 hours, 30 days chanting of Mahamantra. In Gurdwara Sahib, we are having the reading of the Holy Book, 24 hours, 30 days. In Kali temple, the fire ceremony. In Shiva temple, the Shiva Abhishekam. And the 5th, we are having every day satsang, discussion on Ma's life, Ma's teachings. So we are doing in Hindi. All the children are sitting, and now we are doing English also. So before we start about Ma's life, I would request all to just meditate, invoke her through her dhyan mantra, meditation mantra. Bhavatap pranashanyai आनंद घनमूर्तये ज्ञान भक्ति प्रदायिन्यै मातस्तुभ्यं नमो नमः मातस्तुभ्यं नमो नमः. जय मां. Before we start sharing about Ma's life and teachings, I would like to say this, that no one can claim that this is only Ma's teaching, this is it only. No one can limit Ma's teachings, Ma's life. It is just like if someone bathes in the holy river Narmada, and if that person bathes and comes out and shares his or her own experience, it would be limited to that person. Similarly, so many thousands and thousands of people were benefited by Ma's holy presence, and they all have Ma's different experiences, and they all will claim that this is Ma's teaching, and they are all right. Nobody is wrong. But I will say still, it is just it's a limit. That person had that experience and shares this is what it is. But Ma is beyond, Ma is vast. So what I am going to share also, it's also going to be limited from my perspective, whatever we have read, heard from masters. So that is what we are going to share. So very first thing I want to say, Ma, her body, like as we all are born, we are having some desires, some vasanas, and due to that, in each life we create karmas, and from that we create destiny, the prarabdha. And again, when we are born with a destiny, prarabdha. And always we have these sanskaras. And from that we create karma, and according to that we move. But Ma didn't have any karma, any prarabdha. This is her own words. यह शरीर का जन्म प्रारब्ध भोग भोगने नहीं आया. This body is not born to reap the karma of the past life. She is beyond the prarabdha. These are her own words. So, if she has no karma, no sanskaras from previous life, no prarabdha, so her body is also not made up of 5 elements. Because if we are having 5 elements body, then we can have the karmas and all the results and desires, and it's a cycle. But she doesn't. And there are many examples, there are many ways I can share with you how she doesn't has this 5 elements body. First, I can say, one example I am giving, it is from Delhi ashram, where Ma was staying, and she was invited, some devotee has invited her at particular time in the afternoon, and it was summer, very, you know how hot it is in summer in Delhi. So she came on time, but the driver, the taxi didn't came, and she came down the stairs and she started walking. And the Swami was there taking care. He ran and he said, "Ma, just wait, I'm bringing an umbrella, it's too hot." Mark Ma's words, what she said. She said, "This body doesn't take anything from outside. ये शरीर बाहर का कुछ नहीं लेता. No air, no sun, no cold, nothing." Sometimes when it is very rare, she would speak this real who she was. It's a very profound statement when she's saying this body doesn't take anything from outside. The cold, the heat, the rain, no extreme weather bothered her. Food. For months she was just on one grain of rice. Or sometimes just as much as handful, or sometimes just with one breath, or sometimes only for one, whatever the fruit will drop from the tree. That only. How many fruits are going to drop? And how many fruit trees were there? So rarely she was eating, no water. How is it possible for 5 elements body to survive without food? And we have also seen that when, like once a devotee, she said that she had this ego that I'm going to feed Ma. You people are not feeding her with proper bhav. He had some ego. So she said, okay. And Ma was always responding to the bhava. So she said, okay, this body will eat. So she cooked a big feast, big bhandara. A lot of kheer was prepared. So Ma sat and she started eating. And she ate for many people. And when all the kheer was finished, she started crying like a child, like a baby. I want more, I want more. So they rushed to the village and they brought the milk and all the supplies, the rice and everything. And half cooked they served her because she was like really impatient. I want more. So they offered her and she finished that also. Now what? So that lady came and she said, really, Ma, you are Jagat Janni, the queen of this whole universe. Who can feed you? No one can feed you. So that is it. If it was 5 element body, how could she first survive without food, and then immense amount of food she could also eat? Both extremes we have seen. Then we can say, there is another example I give. Her body was many times seen weightless, no weight. There is beautiful example. I'm forgetting that incident. It was Swami Atmananda from Austria. She was just standing behind and she did pranam to Ma, and it was kind of like from behind she did pranams. And as soon as she bowed down, Ma was talking to someone and she stepped back, and her foot she stepped on her. So Ma said, "Are you hurt?" So the Atmananda said, "Ma, I didn't feel even your weight. How light you are." And Swami was standing next to her. She said, "Just like a rose." So she was not having any weight. It was seen The clothes, sometimes she was big, small. So many incidences like this that prove that she didn't have the 5-element body. Another thing I want to say, medicine. Very rare, once or twice, like very few times. This is one thing, no one can say about Ma that this is it, she did and she didn't did. So she didn't had the medicine, she never ate. Once it was something happened and then the doctor gave her and she got even worse. She never took medicine. So one example, one story, it happened like she was in 1949, she was very sick. She got liver cancer. Even her whole body became bluish, so much poison in the body. And what happened when she was so sick, so weak, the doctor said she has to sleep. So they were saying that we are going to give her some pills to sleep. But what happened? Ma said this body never slept. The doctors couldn't understand. They said to recover, you have to sleep. She said this body never slept. Then after some time, Ma herself did some kriyas, some mudras, and the doctor was sitting, and the doctor saw a kind of figure, scary figure came out of her body and jumped into the Ganga. And after that she was perfectly well. And that was seen so many times. Suddenly she was sick and suddenly she is fine. Suddenly she is fine and then sick. She used to say, as you all come to this body never sends anyone away. Similarly, the diseases, they also come to this body. Why should I send them away? So that was Ma. How can a 5-element body survive without taking medicine when you are sick? If you are not taking medicine, if you like persistent, you stubborn, it will get worse. The body condition will be not fine. It shows she didn't had this 5-element body. Then we have seen with the 5 elements, she was one. Like full control over rain, flood. We will speak on all these incidences in further sessions. We will speak about it. There are beautiful incidences where it had happened. And I'm just speaking that she had full control over these elements. Her body was not made up of them, but she had complete command on them. Then the question comes that we have seen that her body was growing. She was a child, then she became elder, younger, and then she became older. So if it was not 5-element body, how this was seen? We have seen the nails were growing, the hairs were growing, they were cutting the hairs. How this was happening? So there is beautiful example of this also. You might have heard the name of Sanat, Sanandan, the 4 boys, the rishis. They ever stayed like that. They never become older. So if Ma would have kept herself as it is, everybody would be easily able to recognize that she's the goddess. And that's her own words. She said, this body don't want to show off. यह शरीर अपने को छिपाए रखना चाहता है. She never showed off that she is the goddess. She is the source of all gods and goddesses. She never showed it. So that was the reason. In tomorrow's session, we will speak furthermore about the experiences of some saints, and when she was born, what were the circumstances and how it all proved that she was the divine beyond these elements. Jai Ma.